Hello, boys and girls, how are you today? Today we will start a new lesson in grammar. We are still in Unit 5, but we have week 3 here and a new title, Adjectives That Compare. We have adjectives that compare. This lesson will cover pages 111, 112, and 115 in the book, plus page 30 in the booklet. So get ready. Adjectives that compare. Adjectives can be used to compare nouns or pronouns. Pronouns, names for people, places, animals, or things. Like he, she, it, they. We took this before. Do you remember? So, here, the adjectives that compare, they are comparing nouns or pronouns. We use adjectives to compare two nouns. This is rule number 1, comparing two nouns. And we use adjectives to compare 3 nouns or more. 3 nouns or more. This is rule number 2. So we have 2 rules here, comparing 2 nouns and comparing 3 nouns or more. Let us start with rule number 1. We use adjectives to compare 2 nouns. Now let's see how we compare 2 nouns. First, we have to add ER to the adjective that we are going to use in comparing 2 people, 2 things, 2 animals, or 2 places. So, we use ER with the adjective. Second, or then, we have to add the word than directly after this adjective that we used. So we have 2 points here. The first point is using ER with the adjective, and the second point is to add than directly after this adjective. So, let's see here. What can you see in the picture? We have 2 girls. Excellent. Girls is the noun. Noun for people. So we are going to compare 2 people, Sarah and Maya. And the arrow is pointed to Sarah. So I'm going to describe Sarah. What is the describing word here that I can use to describe Sarah? I can say tall. Excellent. So I can say Sarah is tall. She is a tall girl. I use the describing word or the adjective tall to describe Sarah. Now if I'm going to talk about Sarah and Maya together, comparing the 2 girls together, I will use ER with the tall. It becomes taller. Tall plus ER, it becomes taller. The second point is to add than just after the adjective taller. So it becomes taller than Maya. So Sarah is taller than Maya. I use 2 nouns in the same sentence. I compare 2 nouns together, Sarah and Maya, and I use ER with the adjective tall, and then I add the word than just after tall. Sarah is taller than Maya. Look, girls and boys, it's wrong to say Sarah is taller Maya without using than. Than is a rule. We have to use than after we add ER to the adjective. So we say Sarah is taller than Maya. Rule number 2. We use adjectives to compare 3 nouns or more. Now here we have more than 1 or 2 nouns. We have to compare 3 nouns or more. Now let's see how we compare 3 nouns or more. First, we have to add EST to the adjective that we are going to use to compare 3 nouns or more. People, things, animals, and it could be places. So here in this picture, we have girls. And we said that girls is a noun for people. So we are going to compare people. But here we have more than 2 girls. We have 4 girls. So I'm going to talk about only 1 girl comparing it with all the other girls. The arrow is pointed to Mira, so I'm going to talk about Mira. What describing word I can use here to describe Mira? Excellent, we can also use tall. But here we have to add est to the adjective tall, not er, it's est. So it becomes tallest, tallest. Then we have to add the word the just before the adjective that I used. So est to the adjective and the just before the adjective. For example, Mira is the tallest one of all. So I'm talking about Mira, comparing Mira with all the other girls. So I will say Mira is the tallest one of all. Notice that at the end of our sentence we write of all. This means that I'm comparing one noun with all the other nouns. Here we have 3 apples. Apples is a noun. Noun for a thing. I will use the word large. Large is the adjective or the describing word that I'm going to use to describe the apples. Now, if I'm going to talk about the first apple, only one apple, I will use large, only large. The first apple is large. Now, I'm going to use 2 nouns here, describing the 2 apples together, comparing them. So I will add er to the adjective. The sentence will become, the apple is larger. And what I add here after the adjective larger? I add than. Excellent. So the second apple is larger than the first apple. Now here I'm going to talk about the biggest one or the largest one. I'm going to compare this one with all the other apples. So I'm going to talk about 3 apples. So here, if I'm going to talk about the 3 nouns, what I will do, I will add est to the adjective and I will add the word the just before the adjective. The third apple is the largest of the 3. I said the largest. We have an adjective here. It's big. If I'm going to talk about the first noun, which is dog, here it's a noun for animals. So the dog is big, only big, because I'm talking about only one noun. I will keep the adjective the same. But here, if I'm going to compare the dog with the cow, I'm going to compare 2 nouns together. So what I will do here, I will add er. Excellent. I will add er to the adjective and I will add than just after the adjective. The cow is bigger than the dog. If I'm going to talk about the elephant now, comparing the elephant with the cow and the dog. So we have 3 animals, 3 nouns. I'm going to compare 3 nouns. What I will do here? Super! I will add est to the adjective. And don't forget the word the just before the adjective. So we say the elephant is the biggest one of all. Here we have the adjective small. I will say the cat is small. I'm talking about only one noun, one cat. The cat is small. I'm going to compare the bird with the cat, comparing 2 nouns. I will say the bird is smaller than the cat. ER and than, we have two nouns. If I'm going to talk about the ladybug now, comparing the ladybug with the bird and the cat, so we have three nouns. What I will do? I will add est to the adjective excellent. So the ladybug is the smallest one of all, and don't forget to put the just before the adjective smallest. It will be the smallest one of all. Here we have some adjectives, some pictures, comparing them together. First we have the tea is hot. Then we say the fire is hotter than the tea. Then the sun is the hottest one of all. We have the adjective fat. We say the first cat is fat. The second cat is fatter than the first cat. But the last one is the fattest one of all. We have cold. The ice cream is cold. The ice cube is colder than the ice cream. The igloo is the coldest one of all. Thanks for watching.